Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. This is Success with Srini. If it's professional growth, personal growth, financial growth, or relationship growth, we're talking about it. One show, one topic. Diving in deep with practical and useful insights that will change and transform your life. Welcome to Success with Srini. And now your host, Srini Saripalli.
Welcome back to Success with Srini. Day 1 of a brand new month. We are on 1st of May, year 2022. Incredible. This has been an incredible journey. We started on 1st of January. Every day this podcast has been running, and into month of May, personally, this is I don't know what to say. I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for listening to everything that I'm saying here. Thank you for keeping my spirits high. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your reviews, and your sharings, all that. No words to express. I made a commitment to myself this morning. I said, I'm going to come on the microphone and I'm going to record one of the best podcasts that I have ever done. And to do that, I went back and looked, what have I done? I've done so many things and so many things are incorrect. And I looked into the best one that I have done. And I tell you, I found my best author, Giblin. His best book, How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People. That's a book that I read at a time when I was really needing it. I'll tell you, what an incredible book it is. And I did this podcast where I talked about this book. I talked about a specific strategy in that book, which is how to give praise and why praise is the best currency in the world. This was a while ago. So I went back to that podcast and I wanted to redo it and do it in such a way with a renewed understanding now. And as I am progressing with time, I'm discovering more. So I said, I'm going to take that content and I'm going to redo it in the best possible way. And that's how I'm going to start my today. So here I am. And here is this podcast episode. So let's get into this. Les Giblin, in his book, How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, says something incredible on the page number 135. He says, perform a miracle each day. Profound. Perform a miracle each day. He says, life itself is a miracle. And we agree, life is a miracle. But then we put more life into others by simply thanking them, expressing gratitude, praising them, hugging them, wishing them. By doing these things, you increase a person's self-image. You raise their abilities. In fact, he quotes psychologist Henry Goddard and in that page, and he says, scientifically, praise has been proven to increase energy in school children. It's amazing. School children, when they're praised, their energies go up. Talks about a specific example when students were told just before an examination that you will have little trouble with this test. It is well within your abilities and intelligence. They made better marks than when their intelligence and ability were run down just prior to the test. Praising their ability seemed to increase their ability. See, when you go around and praise someone, you are increasing their ability. It's amazing. Somebody praises you, they're raising your ability. Amazing. Now, he talks something interesting in this book. He says, the American corporations, and now all corporations around the world, this book was written in 1950s. So a lot of the reference is from that time. But then he says, American corporates have figured out a way to praise people by giving bonuses, by giving titles and all that. But none of that works. None of that works. Money doesn't work, titles don't work, bonuses don't work. What works is praise. And he also gives an example of Lincoln Electric. Lincoln Electric was started by James F. Lincoln, an incredible entrepreneur. I studied James F. Lincoln and what he did back in the day. Back in the day, James F. Lincoln, when he ran this company, he used to guarantee income. Like if there is a recession, it was during the Second World War and First World War too, I believe. I think primarily the Second World War. At the time, he guaranteed income to all the employees. Says if you are here and you're not working, your income is guaranteed. And when good times came by, James Lincoln started paying overtime, which was rare back in those days. So a profound entrepreneur back in the day. But he says, James F. Lincoln says, and Les Giblin quotes that in this book, James F. Lincoln says, the reason why his company back in the day had 12 times more productivity than any other competitors, because the employees were praised and treated right. So bonus systems don't work. Praise works. That's the point. So today, when you go out, praise some people. Start the day praising others. I promise you, you raise their ability and you also raise your trust with them. It's amazing. So how do we do this? And Les Giblin gives 6 rules. He puts 6 rules on how to praise. And primarily one of the best praises that you can give anybody is say thank you. So just say thank you. And he says that there are 6 rules, or there are 6 methods. He says rules, by the way. 6 rules of saying thank you. The first and the foremost is you got to be sincere. When you say thank you to someone, you got to be sincere. The second rule, you got to say it. Don't mumble it. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't work. If you want to say something, say it loud, say it clear, say thank you. Be loud, be clear, and let your voice be heard. And let it resound, let it create an echo. Right? Always say thank you by name. And you just don't walk into meetings and say thank you all. Thank you all doesn't work. Unfortunately, I do that a lot on radio because I do not know who is listening. And I do that here also on this podcast because I have no idea who is listening. But then if I am in a room and maybe 3 or 5 or 10 people and I know their names, I say thank you by name. Even in my events, when people have their name badges on them, when I thank at the end of my event, I say thanks to each one of the attendees whose names I can read. And if I cannot read their names, and if I happen to remember their names during the breaks, then I take their names. But mostly when I do not know the names, then I say thank you all. But if you know the names of all the people with whom you work with and you are in a room, thank each one by their name. Next rule. When you are saying thank you, look into their eyes. Make that eye connection, eye contact. Just looking here and there and this means you are saying thank you, but you are misdirecting. It just doesn't register when you don't look into the eyes or when you don't make that eye contact. Then he says, work the thanks. Well, that's a profound one. Work the thanks. When you should always look for an opportunity to say thank you. And you will always have an opportunity to say thank you when you study, when you see somebody making some moves. I'm thankful to you because I saw you do this. Or that was amazing the way you did it. Wow, I tried that and I couldn't do it. I've seen others couldn't do it. You did it. What's the secret? When you start observing people at their deepest level, and you're seeing their finer points on how they're getting things done, and you use that as a cue, and you kind of amplify that right on their face, and you tell them, wow, thank you. You now, will never run out of reasons to thank someone because you did the homework. So you got to work the thank you. When you don't work the thank you, it is going to sound superficial. And then finally he says that you need to praise somebody when they are least expecting it. The other day I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were discussing about a bonus, structure, right? A new company now. And he's like the CEO of a new company. And he's like, okay, Srini, what do you think? How do we compensate and how do you reward the people? Compensation is a different discussion, but how do we reward? And he says, Srini, you got to reward. And he says from his side, he says, you got to reward someone when they're least expecting it. And nobody ever says no to a check, an unexpected check. I have never. So I'm sure none of my new employees are going to say no to an unexpected check. Right? I said, wow, you're right. Les Giblin said that. I read that book a long time ago. Okay, so go. Say thank you to people around you. Find a reason to say thank you. Be sincere. Make the eye contact. Say it when they're least expecting it. And say it in a way that you are heard and they can hear it and some other people around them can hear it. And always, always work the thanks. I don't think I came across as firmly as I should have, but I think I started the podcast saying thank you for being a listener, subscriber. Thank you for everything. And most importantly, keeping me alive through all these days since we started this podcast back as a daily podcast on January the 1st of year 2022. It's 4 months already. We are into 5th month. So you have no idea how thankful I am to you, because if I don't get a question, if I don't get a rating, if I don't get a review, I don't see a download, it takes me down. But because you are there and you're listening, I feel motivated. I come back and do this. Listen, I do success seminars or I do workshops. It's not that I'm always motivated. I'm always inspired. I have my funk time too. At a time, I do question, why am I doing all this? Is there any value? Am I conveying any value? I go through this. Everybody goes through this. If somebody says, I don't go through this, I think they're lying. If we all go through this, that's given. But then, as a professional, as somebody aware, as somebody who understands, as somebody who has a better view, because through all the effort of going through all this, you, me, people like us, we should come back quickly. The idea is not to feel a sense of rejection or lack of motivation or depression. All these are absolute states of the mind. Mind goes through all different cycles. But we just don't stay longer there because we are aware. That's the point. Okay. I hope you are off to a great start this morning. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the month of May. This is a good start for all of us. And I'm going to catch you tomorrow with another incredible book, another incredible author. Profound sayings in his book. This author. Also, again, I did a podcast a while ago, and I want to bring that back. And his content has been incredible. The book has been incredible. It's number one best-selling book since it came out in late 60s. It's amazing. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Stay tuned. Bye now.
You've been listening to Success with Srini. Srini is committed to changing and transforming your life, whether it's professional growth, personal growth, financial growth, or relationship growth. Srini has positively touched the lives of over 1 million people through his seminars, webinars, workshops, and radio shows. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit up the YouTube channel at Success with Srini and the website at www.srinisaripalli.com. Remember, improvement begins with I. See you next time on Success with Srini.